Since the beginning of time, we've wandered the earth with a starry-eyed belief in what we couldn't see, the paranormal. From ghosts, demons, sirens, fairies, and angels, stories of supernatural happenings have never failed to captivate us. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 spine-chilling mysteries that delve into the depths of the paranormal. An angel saves a dying daughter. It is difficult to believe things that are beyond our imagination. The word of mouth isn't the best evidence in our contemporary society, and even photographic proof is doubted. But every so often, a video appears that takes the world by storm. In this case, a teenage girl by the name of Chelsea Banton, aged 15, had a fatal case of pneumonia, laying in a hospital bed as the life faded from her eyes. Her condition kept worsening until the doctors decided that the time had come to take her off life support. The moment that her loved ones surrounded her to say their farewells, the nurses in charge of security cameras began to panic. Ms. Banton, Chelsea's mother, rushed to see what was going on. The monitors revealed an astonishing white light that appeared to be an angel, which stood by Chelsea's hospital room. Chelsea's mother immediately prayed that this was an angel coming to save her daughter from her sickness, or to deliver her to heaven if her time had come. Ms. Banton took a photograph of the monitor, and within minutes, a miracle happened. Chelsea, who was so close to passing away, was restored. Her health returned to her on swift wings. The family was convinced that this was a blessed act of God, that He sent an angel to protect Chelsea from passing away. However, it's challenging to determine whether this theory is accurate, or whether it can even be considered real at all. In the past, humans had a tendency to blindly believe whimsical things with little evidence. But we live in a society focused primarily on logic and science. Still, miracles happen every day, many of which cannot easily be explained by the reasoning science offers, because we still know far too little. The unknown will always exist, and the more answers we gather, the more questions we'll have. Did an angel save Chelsea Banton, or was it a mere coincidence? If it wasn't an angel, what else could it have been? How could she have suddenly got better after being so frail? Could this really have been something divine? Helped by an entity. In 1980, single mother Deb was driving home from her parents, having collected her 2 infant children whom they had taken care of for the day, when she claims the family were pushed to safety by an angel. In San Bernardino County, California, Deb and her 2 children were heading home after a long day at 11:30 p.m. Unsurprisingly, considering the late hour, both the babies were sleeping in the back seat of the car. Deb drove a car that she herself dubbed an old clunker, and the car had plenty of problems to have earned this name. One of the most notable issues was the fuel gauge. This was broken, therefore Deb had to keep an estimated guess as to how much gas was left. Though, as you would expect, this wasn't always the most precise. This was one of those circumstances. Deb said that halfway home the car started to sputter. Her next course of action was to pull off as soon as possible, though this ramp was slightly uphill. The incline certainly didn't help her car in its losing battle, and the car gave in just shy of the hilltop. Deb and her children were stranded. The roads were quiet, in part due to the late hour and a lack of traffic, though the surroundings themselves did not help. Deb described the scene as there being nothing around but empty fields and distant lights. She did know, however, that there was a service station nearby, roughly 0.25 miles away. The problem was getting there. With no cars around to ask, and being in the 80s, we didn't all have a phone in our pocket to give a friend or service a ring. Deb seemed as though she was stuck. Walking a quarter of a mile with a baby in each arm was not a viable option. I put my head on the steering wheel while saying a short and panicky prayer, Deb said, as she recounted the events of the night. During this prayer, a stranger tapped on the car window. Deb described the man as clean-cut, at a guess 21 years old, well-dressed and smelling of soap. He prompted her to unroll the window and instructed her to put the car in neutral and steer, as he pushed the car up the hill. Following his directions, Deb got to the service station where she filled up her car and made it safely home. She couldn't see the man once they'd reached the top of the hill, but shouted a thank you nonetheless. Best of all, the little ones didn't miss a second of sleep throughout the ordeal. Thinking back, Deb mentioned how typically, in a scenario like this, she'd expect to be nervous and afraid. She didn't feel any fear of any kind, but rather thankfulness and relief at the help of a stranger. Deb thinks of this man as an angel and believes she has met many more since then. Her belief is that when we encounter an angel, we do not question them, we simply trust their aid and that their intentions are good. She describes the possibility that angels can take all shapes and sizes, young and old. Deb concludes stating that, "I've always trusted in God to take care of us, but in retelling that story many times to my children, who are now 30 and 32, they know for a fact that angels do exist and are sent to us if we just believe." What does the Vatican say about demonic possession? Within many circles, not exclusively the Vatican, but certainly including it, exorcism, possessions, and discourse surrounding demons remains controversial, and part of this reluctance to discuss these events stem from the popular culture horror films depicting such evil possessions. These films have not only distorted and, in the eyes of some, mocked demonic possession, but led to a significant increase in the number of claims of supposed victims stating that they had been possessed by a demon. The Catholic Church allows exorcisms to be used when they believe that the individual has fallen victim to a demon. Roman Catholicism views the rite of exorcism as a sacramental, remaining distinct from a sacrament. To employ an exorcism, there must be authorization from a valid church or church authority, and those conducting the exorcism must be of Catholic faith. The rite of exorcism was updated by the Catholic Church in the January of 1999, from the 1614 First Official Guidelines for Exorcism. Exorcists are permitted to perform the ritual in the traditional Latin, though as of 1999, the Vatican and other Catholic institutions act upon the assumption that a victim of demonic possession still maintains their free will. The demon may be physically in control of the individual, but their mental faculties remain intact throughout the experience. This means that prayers and blessings can aid and assist in freeing the victim. The canon law of the Catholic Church has measures in place in order to distinguish the possessed from the confused. Before an exorcism can take place, extensive medical and psychiatric measures have to be undertaken to evaluate the possibility of a mental illness. After that, the ritual may be performed by an ordained priest, provided they have the permission of a local bishop. The Catholic Encyclopedia, published in 1908, stated on the matter, "Superstition ought not be confounded with religion, however much their history may be interwoven, nor magic." The Roman Catholic Church cites some signs of exorcism to be fluent speaking in a foreign language the victim has no prior experience in, abilities or strength that is seemingly supernatural, an understanding of secret or remote knowledge that the victim, under ordinary circumstances, could have no understanding or awareness of, and an aversion or pain to holy items and blatant blasphemy. In 2018, 250 priests from over 50 countries were invited to the Vatican City in Rome to undergo specific Catholic training on identifying cases of demonic possession. This was a week-long course aiming to rid the stigma of mistreatment linked with the Church performing exorcisms. The week included accounts from priests detailing their own histories with performing exorcisms, and numerous lectures and case studies. Priests from around the world delved into the theological, psychological, and anthropological history to these bizarre, terrifying instances. This course has been made necessary to educate priests on identifying what is considered by the Catholic Church to be a true demonic possession. As with the ever-increasing demand for exorcisms, the call for distinction between the real, the severe, the fake, and the confused is more vital than ever before. American priest Father Thomas explains that out of 180 cases he has witnessed, only 12 required major exorcisms. But what do you make of these mysteries involving the paranormal? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.